What the hell? Those savages don't get around. I'd better avoid getting too close to that area, at least on foot.
A pie.
Authorized motor vehicles only. Not to set a precedent or anything, but I think...
Ahí se ve de vuelta.
This entrance.
Tenemos que hacer
Savages
algo
don't
acá.
get around, at least on foot.
Algo
Tengo
de
la moto.
para la alcantarilla. Para mí es algo para entrar al coso ese.
So.
Por la alcantarilla.
Impossible.
O entrar al lugar.
Y capaz la alcantarilla le puedo pedir a estos chabones que me ayuden a abrirla, pero no.
Can I ask you if you...
Sure, can't you?
Thanks.
Thanks for the com.
Ah,
A ver, anda para allá, anda para allá, anda para allá.
¿dónde?
A la derecha. Porque el vidrio no sirve. Los clavos tal vez.
¿A dónde?
O en la puerta. Ah, en la derecha, derecha. En la entrada. No, en que lo estamos recién, no sé cómo. Ahí. Usar las cosas que tenemos. Los clavos o en la puerta o en la alcantarilla. Pero el vidrio no creo que sirva de mucho.
Best not to waste time trying to nail this. I don't think I'd gain anything. Best not to waste time trying to nail this here. I'm afraid I can't do that. Best not to waste...
Si no fijar eso.
Strange. The soil here seems darker and less packed than the soil around it.
Anda a fijarte en el techo, pero chupame los huevos.
Sí, sí, sí.
In fact, the mud in this part of the ground is a bit damp and mushy. My fingers even leave marks in it when I touch it. It doesn't look like it.
Puta.
I'll do this very carefully, so that the glass doesn't break in two. Perfect. The hole I've dug is big enough to get to the other side of the fence. No, the hole is... Besides, I'm afraid that if I keep digging... You can smell these dead creatures from several yards. I have no intention...
Bueno, espera, no traje. Oh,
Vamos.
Good God. There are dozens, hundreds of corpses hanging from the branches. What could have drawn all these people here? What kind of pain? What kind of desperation brought them here? These are the corpses of ordinary people who were living their ordinary lives in their ordinary little worlds up to a very short time ago. Could any of them have imagined meeting an end like this back then? Forgotten and nameless, swaying in the breeze like marionettes. And all those savages in uniforms did was close the park. They didn't even bother to cut their bodies down from the trees. I'm afraid that tonight, there are too many dark stars to count in Suicide Park.
A ver.
I'm not gonna cut it. If I can manage to salvage this rope without cutting it, it could be useful to me. Impossible. One of its ends is tied to the crowbar, and the other... Well, the other is also tied to something. A rotting bench overlooking Purgatory. It looks like the kid who hanged himself from this tree climbed up on this, and then... An iron crowbar buried like a stake. Right now, the other end is around the neck of a corpse.
Bien.
facilito.
Someone, I hope, and it's
Okay.
a rotting bench. Oh, it looks like the kid who hanged himself
No,
in this tree.
te voy a hacer otra cosa.
One of the many dark stars in the park. Although the crows have already done a thorough job on him, from what's left, I'd say that the corpse belongs to a young man, barely of legal age. This vegetation is so dense that all you can see are some flattened metal posts in there. There's no doubt that nature has taken over this corner of the city. So much so that I'm afraid that this is the end of my little stroll. The trees and bushes are so close together here that I can hardly push the branches to one side with my hands. The thorns in these bushes are jabbing. I'm not going to be able to open. Wherever I look, I see corpses hanging from these branches, some so recent that the shadows of their faces make it seem like they're following you with their gaze.
¿Para qué carajo querés la cuerda? La herramienta para el viejo. Oh. Okay.
Wait a minute. That guy is the suicide victim who was hanging from this tree. No, don't do it, please.
Saca la cosa, Salame.
No! Good God! I saw him hang himself.
Buenas.
It's impressive. The park was able to devour the fence effortlessly. The metal bars became like plasticine, molded by the whims of the vegetation. Those people in the city I talked to were right. These poor souls, the great wave left behind us. I'm glad I have it with me. A sturdy metal crowbar is a good traveling companion.
¿Qué?
¿Alcantarilla?
It's one of the ways the great...
Oh, es arriba.
The crowbar fits perfectly into the...
Okay.
Getting into a punching match with this wouldn't help. Wait a minute. I'm not going to climb down any further. It's totally dark in there, and it would be crazy to go into these sewers without any light.
Ah.
¿Qué?
La cosa de la casa. El...
Ah.
Ah. Vamos a abrir el viejito esta.
I agree that violence is sometimes the shortest path between
No,
2
no,
points,
no.
but considering how heavy this padlock and the chain are, I'm not sure that brute force is going to help me open this door.
Hay que buscar la
A la anciana.
Try to
llave.
hold on to it.
¿Para qué? Ah, pero ahora... Si me lo dejó de ser por algo.
Can I ask?
Que si me lo dejó de ser
Can't
por
you
algo.
see?
Pues si no se consume.
Sí, sí, sí.
Thanks for...
El árbol, la cuerda. Suicidate.
Se suicida, final alterno.
As dead as that tree is, it still looks strong.
Se mataba en serio.
Se tiraba la mierda.
Before I go down, I'll leave the heavy stuff here, in case the rope doesn't support my weight.
Ahora cuando sube no hay nada.
¿Sabes que sí?
Underneath the surface, there must be many more of these stone things I see sticking out of the water. No doubt they're the remains of a structure that sank here. It seems like a small fragment of one of them is loose. Underneath the surface, there must no doubt.
Las cosas.
I'll get my stuff.
¿Qué tenemos ahora?
A small piece of sculpted marble. It's the head of an animal with what looks like flames. Or could it be a lion's head?
Listo.
The head of the lion above the flames. I think this must be yours.
The head of the lion. The head of the lion above the flames. The ruins of the temple still exist. Salvation is still possible. We can prevent it. We can still prevent it. Don't you understand? The annihilation of time. The wrath of God for our arrogance. There's still time. I have to return to the ruins of
Agarra
the
esa
temple.
rama.
I have to go back to the ruins of the temple.
Wait a minute! Whew. There's no question in my mind. This man is a complete lunatic. She meditates inside. I guess it.
Una rama.
Reverend Blake's cross.
Una rama.
Ay, qué grande fue el viejo.
¿Qué viejo?
El que te recién se fue corriendo a algún lado. El padre ese. Se fue corriendo a dónde.
Let's see.
Con la palanca.
Try to.
Con la
Nothing.
palanquita.
I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to get it off with my hands.
Nacho. Palanca, palanca, palanca.
Maybe with the help of the crowbar, I can get the subway. Damn it! I've managed to tear it down, but the subway sign is broken in two.
Ay, sos un inútil, hermano. Todo mal hizo.
¿Qué dijo? No lo leí.
La agarró pero se le rompió.
Oh. ¿Y ahora?
What was formerly the entrance to a
Hola,
subway,
¿viste?
I imagine the
¿Vos?
train tunnels were flooded.
Hay que ver dónde fue el viejo.
Para mí tenemos que ir a la casa y agarrar el coso de la luz.
Es posible, es posible.
¿Para qué sale la rama, no?
Por ahora ni mínima idea.
I'm not going to snuff out this oil.
Pero, qué
This
choto,
oil lamp is the
agarrala.
room's only source of light, like in a dream. A subway sign, that's what happens when you try to rip something off a wall.
No sé cómo bajar entonces.
I'm not going to snuff out this oil lamp. This place looks...
Quemar la rama.
That's odd.
No creo que aguante
The
mucho
drum has a
tiempo.
huge bullet hole. Everything indicates that it was being used for target practice.
Nada, creo que se va a quemarla, boludo.
¿Lo intentaste?
Para los pibes, capaz.
Escribe una rama.
No,
Abajo,
o el cartel.
Ah, eso puede ser más.
Ah.
Those boys are expecting some type of... And I don't think they're gonna... Those boys are expecting... I don't...
Todavía no sé cómo se consigue la moto, tiran las tres cosas.
Mm.
¿Y ahora?
What used to be a round subway sign... Impossible. It's beyond my... Impossible. Nothing can be done here. The bar... Getting into a punching match with this wouldn't help me at all.
Uf. Con la rama
I
capaz.
don't quite see how I don't see where I can put this stick here. Or why do... Use this here? I don't see...
No.
Impossible. It's beyond...
WhatsApp, ¿qué opciones? A ver. Tenemos un barrote. Un cartel, una rama, clavos. Y tengo que agarrar una linterna. Tengo los peces. Tendría que tener alguna bolsa, ¿no?
No.
¿Qué dice?
No. They're so intertwined that I'll only hurt myself if I try to... Impossible. I'll need something that cuts better if I want to hack my way...
Cortante.
If I want to hack a path through this wall of vegetation...
Capaz la herramienta del viejo. Che, ¿dónde estás? Ah, sí, sí. La herramienta del viejo, capaz. Rápido. A ver, vamos a hablar con el viejardo.
I need to get it.
Okay, give me the...
This house is empty. I need to... If this...
Te la llevas, dale, llévatela. Rápido, rápido. No, no, no. Es un pelotudo.
Impossible. I'm sorry. I can't do anything with this.
I need to get in there. I need to get in.
I'm sorry. I can't...
Help me.
This streetlight is several feet off the ground.
Tiene que haber algo. A este tipo.
Can I ask you...
Sure, can't you?
Thank...
Ah, la puta madre. ¿Estás, Gon? ¿Pero estás viendo?
I don't think I'd gain anything by you getting into a punching match with this.
No,
Okay, let's see if I can
Ahí está.
open this.
Mira, mira, mira.
Got it.
Y
I'm
ahora.
afraid I can't do that. Let's see. I'm sure that if I tug on it a little. Good. The upholstery came off along with one of the elastic.
Bien, dos cosas.
With the cover removed, that seat looks even more depressed.
No. ¿Por qué me sale para agarrar si no puedo agarrarlo? Ahí está.
Ahí está. Ahí se actualizó. Bueno, inventario.
It's the scrap of fabric that was used as a seat, dirty, damp, and mildewed. I'm afraid it serves its purpose to a T. If you stretch it in both, well, I'd better not do that. One of the elastic bands that was holding the seat cover, it serves its purpose to a T.
¡Para!
If you stretch it in both, well, I'd better.
¿Qué?
Porque podemos combinar cosas.
Es verdad.
Con
¿Qué?
el palo.
¿Estos dos juntos?
Although
Ese y el
both
palo.
objects
El
were
palo, el
together
palo, el palo.
inside the abandoned car.
¿Qué palo? ¿Esto?
So, I just made a primitive homemade slingshot.
¡Ah! ¡Para los pibes!
O los pibes, como esclavos. Yo lo pensaba como esclavos, la verdad. No creo que los pibes tiran. Sí, sí. No creo que los pibes estén tirando clavos como si fueran.
Y bueno, sé, Ah.
They could be the perfect projectile, but these nails would end up besides. Something tells me I'm not very good at using.
No, yo tengo la piedra, boludo.
Hello, Michael.
Hi, kids.
We got Mom out of the house. Now what about that reward?
Yes, I think I have something you might like. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. They're just kids, and this could get them into trouble. I know perfectly well what they're going to use it for, but their aim is amazing. And a little commotion on the camp fence could be a good thing for everyone. Besides, they want to do something for their father, and those pigs at the gate deserve a surprise.
What is it, Michael? Tell us, what is it?
I know it's something you're really going to like. Here you go. It's a slingshot.
It's a slingshot. Thank you, Michael. With this, we'll be able to hit the watchtowers. Come on, let's try it. That'll teach you pigs.
La visión. ¿Te acuerdas que
What's going on? I don't know. It must be
No sé, pero
something
la
serious. Come
moto.
on, let's go.
Creo que la moto, que la visión. La motito.
You hit him. Haha, yes. So what do we do now? I don't know. We've got to get out of here. Quickly, run.
I better take this with me.
Oh, mira.
las piedras?
I'm not going to pick them up.
No.
I'm sure
Ay,
it took the
Dios, soy un
size.
estúpido
I bet my
tipo.
aim is.
Pero si se da cuenta que le pegó con una piedra. Mirá. Bueno, estamos acá, no pasa nada. No. Sí, acá. Puta. ¿Por qué se pasó acá? Ah, porque se fue el de los pibes. Mirá.
Oh, my head! What the hell's going on? Oh, God! My head feels like it's gonna explode!
Michael, please, help us, please, remember, Beechwood Oracle.
Repent! It's the sun!
Esto es lo que vimos en la iglesia.
Was it our fault? Did we do it? Yes! We did it!
Enough! Please! Enough!
Esto es lo de
Please,
recién.
Michael, help us. Only
O algo
you
se
can
parece.
do it.
Sí,
Remember, Beechwood Oracle.
Good God! What are these images? And that woman's voice? It's the same one that woke me up in the trailer. I'm.
La moto, Uli. Tienes que levantar la barra. Si no, no vas a poder pasar.
This is the barrier that vehicles pass through to get...
No, lo de arriba a la derecha.
Oh, shit. The key's not in
No.
the ignition. One of the soldiers on the central building must have it. Anyway, I should have figured as much. Maybe this leather saddlebag contains tools for motorcycle maintenance. Or, whew. Well, I'm sure I could drive it. I have no idea.
Guantes de goma.
Oh, anyway. This is the barrier that... This is the barrier...
Mm,
The barbed wire surrounding the camp is incredibly tangled. And it looks like the army wanted to make it very difficult for anyone who might get... The type of gloves motorcyclists wear. And although I can get... Despite how tattered it is, the seat cover is quite... I don't think doing this... There's no need to...
no.
It seems like the... How have they managed to survive?
¿Qué podemos hacer? Tenemos que agarrar la llave.
¡El viejo!
¡No!
¿A dónde se fue el viejo?
Encima que está adentro.
Se nos fue el viejo, me parece.
No.
Si no, hay que explorar ahora. No, ahora no hay que tocar nada, hay que explorar. Hay que buscar el viejo. Acá no estaba, atrás en casa no está.
Pará.
Okay,
No.
it's impossible.
Arriba. ¿Por qué no puedo ahora?
The cable's too high. The cable... Better not. The cable's too high. Even if I had a projectile handy, I consider myself rather clumsy. I just...
Los pibes.
No, los pibes no están más.
The cable's too high.
Pero-
It doesn't look like it's having any...
Es que los pibes desaparecieron, el viejo este desapareció. Por eso para mí, una vueltita. Vamos para atrás, vamos para casa. Nadie.
Can I ask you... Well,
Just be.
No.
I'm not gonna snuff out this oil lamp.
Se fue el viejo.
Escapó.
¿Eh?
Y fue con otro viejo.
¿Qué otro viejo?
De la puerta. Sí, sin saber cómo vamos a conseguir las llaves.
Para mí tenemos que ir a donde estaba el tipo ahí. No sé cómo, pero...
No, no, ahí no. La está lleno de gente. Ah, no, no. Oh, si se suicidó, se ve.
A ver.
No, no creo. No, no. No, no.
I don't know, man. No.
Menos mal. Menos mal. ¿Y ahora qué hay que hacer? Para mí salgo con la moto. Pero hay que conseguir la llave.
Mm,
Y dice, ¿para qué queremos esa funda?
No. The fish would end up dissolving and getting spread out all over the...
¿Con los guantes?
The entire world has collapsed. Why would I care in the least?
Son para no dejar huellas.
En la moto.
O capaz otra cosa, porque la moto... A ver, capaz está acá adentro, ¿no?
¿El viejo?
Sí. ¿No es este? No.
No sé qué le pasó al viejo. Pero ahora hay que hacer algo que andás a ver qué es. Porque desapareció el viejito se la quemó.
Mm, Puede ser que se haya ido si no estaban los guardias.
A dirty window at ground level for ventilation. It's the only opening that... That would be one way of getting into the house.
La verdad.
But the noise of breaking glass would alert the soldiers posted nearby. I'd rather not think about what those savages would do to this old man. And me. I don't quite see how I could use this.
Para mí las tijeras van a ser para cortar el coso. El pasto de allá.
Es posible, pero entonces ¿qué hay que hacer?
Clavos. Señal. Funda. Tirachinas. Guantes de goma. Cristal. Herramienta. Cazador. Míralos. A ver. Para mí tengo que venir acá.
The view from here is incredible. Until you...
Bajar, decís vos.
Y... tenemos que encontrarnos con los
One
guardias.
of the
¿verdad?
many towers that make it... It seems like the sentry in this one came down in a hurry.
O no sé. Porque ¿para dónde fueron los guardias?
It's an old wooden... Now it's something you... It's an old wooden pallet that the kids painted a target on. Now it's something you can stack hands on. They seem like much more fun to use for target practice. I'm not gonna pick them up. Besides...
Vos dijiste que necesitamos las cosas para el... Para
Even
los
if I had a
árboles,
project...
¿Qué?
¿no? La cosa del viejo para el árbol. ¿Y no se la podés cambiar? No creo, pero bueno. Puede ser algo ahí.
No es el viejo, ¿no? Vamos a decirle viejo 1 al que estaba sentado y viejo 2 a este.
Ok.
I'd rather not do that. The new world is violent enough without going around hitting
¡Al
its...
vidrio!
Ya lo puse, ¿dónde estabas? Dice que no porque va a hacer mucho ruido.
That would be one way of getting into the house.
Con los guantes.
But the noise of... I'd rather not think about what those savages...
¿Qué van a cambiar un aguante, boludo? ¿Qué es un silenciador?
Use this here? It doesn't seem like it.
Con el asiento. No,
I
con,
need
con
to
los
get
cuatro
in
cosas,
here.
algo.
But please,
I'm sorry.
Esto es algo, pero no haga ruido.
El
I'd
de
rather
los
not. The new
clavos.
world... I agree that violence is sometimes the short... But considering how heavy this padlock, I'm not sure that brute force is going to help.
Si no lo puedo romper con eso, no lo puedo romper con nada.
This street light is several feet off the ground.
Qué puto.
No sé para qué me sirve una señal metálica, boludo.
Para ponerlo ahí tal vez.
¿A dónde?
En el vidrio. Sí, hay que hacerlo con ese vidrio, boludo, sí o sí.
I doubt
Tal
I'd
vez te dice
accomplish
lo de no
anything
hacer
using the
ruido.
pieces of...
Y el hijo te está diciendo todo el tiempo, no hagas ruido.
Scratching the glass with the nail. Besides, I hate...
Ay, es de puta encima. El póster lo sacamos de ahí.
Sí.
¿Y lo debo poner?
No, porque ese que nos va a servir.
I don't think I'd gain anything.
Hay algo...
El asiento, amigo. Lo único que no probamos es el asiento y el cuaderno.
It's
Ahora
the
del
scrap
cuaderno
of fabric that was used as a dirty, damp, and...
¿Pero a dónde lo ponemos?
el vidrio. Para mí es eso, no hay que hacer ruido.
The seat cover, it's
Pero
on its
dice al
last
mismo tiempo.
legs. I'm not gonna...
El vidrio de abajo, cuidado.
This quilted fabric fits the size of the...
Ah,
Va, mira que... ¿Y ahora? Ahora
Okay.
sí.
And let's cross our fingers that the seat cover absorbs the noise of the breaking glass.
Y si no somos
If the
pollos.
soldiers next door find me, they'll blow my head off without bothering to ask questions.
Prepárate para correr. Ay, por ahí me las tengo.
you've done it. Thank you.
El viejo
Thank
se mete
you.
por ahí, no.
I'm safe now. God bless you, stranger.
Take care of yourself. Don't open the door to strangers.
Tuki. A ver, ¿me podré meter?
This home already has an owner.
Listo.
Qué puto. Ahora sí. Ahora dice, ah no, esto es muy chiquitito.
Esto no tiene filo, no me sirve para aquí.
Ojo, igual, no sé qué carajo podemos conseguir ahí. Pero estamos las llaves, yo quiero que el final lo haga, o sea, un final. Para llegar al acto 3 con la llave de mierda. Y tampoco fuimos abajo.
Para mí al interno la vamos a conseguir acá, si Saya, sí.
Sí, mira
Let's
cómo
see
va,
what's
mira
on
cómo
the
corre.
other side of this hedge.
Mira cómo corre. Uy.
Caguito.
No! Please! These
Joder,
visions!
invocando.
My head!
You won't get any of his things. I won't allow it. Do you hear me?
Michael, is that you? Thank God we found you. It's me, Chris. Don't you recognize me? But there is a solution, Michael. All is not lost. There is still a possibility of salvation for us. For each and every one of us.
You have to stop this, Michael. You have to quit.
I can't do it!
It's destroying us, don't you see? It's killing us.
It's that demon inside me! I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
These visions are getting more intense all the time. The pain is unbearable.
What?
Who's Chris? Salvation is still possible, he said. Could that be true? And once again, that female voice has been haunting me since I woke up. Who is she? Why was she so distressed? What the hell happened to us? Or is going to happen to us?
Anota, anota.
Wow.
From here, I'll have a magnificent view of the hospital compound.
Ah,
In
puedes entrar
truth,
por atrás.
the part that's visible from the road is only a fraction of it. The vegetation conceals a much larger area.
Electrificado.
More of that barbed wire that adorns all the city's buildings. If I get up close enough, I can hear a slight buzz.
What? ¿Qué es esto, amigo?
No, está como demasiado oscuro todo.
Es como una parte de abajo, pero no está nada...
I'll use the gloves as insul.
¿Dónde va? ¡Oh!
Perfect.
Se puso la sangre, no. Importante.
¿Y ahora?
Ahora tenemos que saltar.
¿Y cómo?
With the help of a pair of bolt cutters, all that's a proven.
¿Para qué abrí esto? Si no puedo pasar.
Porque ahora nos falta algo para pasar. No.
Pero es que no me dice nada.
Yo veo algo, no sé si vos lo ves. Pero está el tipo abajo a la derecha. Arriba, un poquito arriba.
¿Esto? Ah.
Let's see what's down here.
Como yo lo veo raro, lo veo todo negro.
And it looks like it hasn't been used in a long, long time.
Ah, es una tarampilla, yo lo vi un punto blanco y eso.
This door leads to a dingy back room. I can hear the buzz of electricity coming from inside, but I can't figure out anything more without a little
Y si
more
no
light.
queréis agarrar la luz de atrás. ¿Cómo lo ven ahí al tipo?
¿Qué?
¿Cómo lo ven ahí pasando para arriba?
No creo.
Y tenés una alcantarilla ahí, eso.
Let's see if this grate can be removed.
No, obvio. Oh.
Perfect. It looks like this hole leads.
What is this place? Where the devil am I? It seems like the small building at the ground level is just camouflage. The most important part is here underground. Are all of them dissolved? How many patients can there be packed in here? Dozens? Hundreds? This is horrible.
Un número.
Sí. Bajada principal. Póster.
The future is in our hands. From the text, I say this poster must have been part of a government campaign. The handle that opens this rust. It looks like this closet is used frequently, and with very little. A tiny lock is preventing me from opening the door, and despite its size, it seems to be very strong.
Déjame a mí.
I'm not going to open it this way. I don't see any cracks in the door big enough to get any leverage.
Te cago.
Tranqui, tengo la cizalla.
The bolt cutters are very worn. I'm not going
¿Está
to
muy
waste.
desgastada? ¿Vos decías que no está filosa? No está filosa, ¿verdad?
It's sagging from the weight, and so dilapidated, that I doubt this janitor's cart has many more trips left in it.
Está adentro, mi loco. Oh.
Unlike his neighbors, this door is hanging open. All I see inside are remnants of stickers. It looks like someone left in a hurry, without. A row of anonymous ramshackle lockers could fall apart at any, maybe in solid. More of that official propaganda. Your silence is the end. This glass cabinet has dozens of medications stored inside, classified by type. Antibiotics and, painkillers. Locked. Of course. I'm starting to get annoyed with this sense of ownership. Lockers and other storage furniture in the.
Ahora sí, pegarle un peñazo con esto, dale.
No puedo.
I'd rather use a key to open this case, but I'm a bit short on time. So.
Who is it? Who's there?
Oh, excuse me,
What are you doing here? Have you come to steal something? Take one more step and I'll call the soldiers.
No, wait, please, don't do that.
Security?
No.
This is Nurse Uma Grundy. I need you to come right away.
Uma.
No, wait!
Robar, pensar.
Wait a minute. Did you say Uma? Nurse Uma?
Yes, that's my name.
Wait, please don't turn me in. I know your father. I saved his life just a few hours ago. They were going to deport him to the refugee camp, but I was able to stop it.
My God, did you say my father? Tell me, how is he? Has anything happened to him?
Don't worry, Uma. He's safe. He told me about you and your work in this place. He was worried. He'll want to know that you're all right. Wait, please don't turn me in.
This is Nurse Uma Grundy. It turned out to be a false alarm. You don't have to come, thank you.
Thank you. You did the right thing. My name is Michael.
But now you should explain why you burst in here like that. What are you looking for, Michael?
I came to get medicine. I need a cure for the dissolved.
Cure? There's no such thing. You won't find it here or anywhere else. The authorities distributed a memo among the medical staff months ago. I'm sure you can still find a copy of it around here somewhere. It told us that they've definitely abandoned the search for a medicine. You made a mistake risking your life to get in here. The only thing we store here is pain. This place is a tomb for those poor infected devils, but also for the people who work here. I'm sorry, Michael. The dissolved are condemned to death.
No, that can't be. There has to be a solution, a cure. Oh man, poor Rod, poor Colin. But I heard in the refugee camp, they said a cure is being produced and stored here. Well, if that's not the case, what's the purpose of a building like this?
The Army deliberately keeps that rumor about a possible cure alive. You see, as long as people still have some hope left, it is much easier to control the city more effectively. But it's a lie.
I understand.
This medical center was built just after the Great Wave, taking advantage of some abandoned underground facilities. That was when the authorities were beginning to work on their project to rebuild the city. They told us the building was going to be used to take in the first patients. Of course, we had no idea the disease would become so widespread. I left my job in a clinic downtown to come here. I wanted to lend a hand. They demanded total confidentiality about our work to avoid causing panic in the population. Not even my father knew what we were really doing in here.
Yes, he told me that when I asked him about this place.
At first, we treated the patients with great care. There was medicine to ease their suffering and even research into a possible cure. Everything was going smoothly.
And then what happened?
Things started to go wrong. When the number of patients multiplied, we couldn't keep up. And then we began to run out of even the most basic supplies. And that was when the Army took over complete control of the center.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Then they sealed off the building. No one was allowed to leave, not even us. We doctors and nurses have been shut in here for months, isolated without even a glimpse of daylight. They say it's for security reasons. It's for our own safety. Oh yeah. Now our medical care is limited to wrapping up the patients in plastic bags, like the ones they use to transport cadavers, and then simply waiting for them to die, doing what little we can do to ease their suffering. Then we dispose of their remains, dissolving the black bags in acid for decontamination. And that's about it. That's all we can do with the resources we have, and sometimes it's just too much to bear.
Condemned to die. I heard their cries of pain out there. What really happens to the dissolved?
These people suffer the most excruciating pain and die in the most horrible way I've ever seen. The first symptoms are bouts of nausea and fainting, which become more frequent and prolonged as the disease progresses, until in the end their entire metabolism enters a state of shock. Then their entire cell structure dissolves. It simply disintegrates. There's no medical explanation. It just happens. But there's something even stranger about the disease.
What could be stranger than what you just told me?
The dissolved become erratic, unpredictable, eccentric. They're uncontrollable. That's why the Army fears them. They're afraid of their unpredictable behavior, but also of their strange messages. So the sole function of this place is to keep them locked away, hidden, and under the Army's control, until death takes them off their hands. one by one. It's also why people who harbor the dissolved are punished. And it's also the reason for the existence of the
No, no me
cleanup
importa, me
brigades.
importa agarrar los medicamentos y me voy a la mierda.
And what is it that makes the dissolve so unpredictable and dangerous?
They know, Michael. You probably think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, they know. They talk about events no one else knows about. They sense things. They bring back information from the places they go. And they talk to the dead there, Michael. They communicate with the dead. They know, Michael. That's all.
They're just sick people, Uma.
No! They're more than just ordinary sick people. You wouldn't talk like that if you had been living with them, and their messages and their prophecies, all these months.
Wait a minute. Did you just say the dissolved make prophecies?
Let me tell you a story. When I first came to the center, I became friendly with a patient, a 13-year-old girl. All the time I was taking care of her, she never stopped chatting. She told me all about the underground highways. She said she went there every day.
Underground highways?
She said they all went there when they lost consciousness. Obviously, I felt great pity for the girl, but in time I also came to feel tremendous fear. I was afraid of that poor, hopeless child. Her visions, her dreams, her messages terrified me. And then one night she sat down next to another patient, an older woman who looked surprisingly healthy. According to our calculations, this woman still had a few months to live. The woman had just lost consciousness. "Leave me alone with her," the girl said to me. "It won't be long now." And she took the woman's hand. And just seconds later, the woman started to dissolve, shrieking and writhing in pain, until there was nothing left of her but a puddle of brown, viscous liquid. The girl turned to me and said, "I knew she was leaving us, and I didn't want her to go alone. That would have been very sad, wouldn't it, Uma?" The girl's face was still dripping with the remains of the patient. She knew what was going to happen, Michael. She saw it. From then on, my fear became uncontrollable. I felt defenseless next to her.
I understand.
Finally, my panic was so great that I refused to go anywhere near her. And I even, God forgive me, I felt secretly relieved when she herself finally dissolved. They know, Michael. And that's why they're so dangerous to the people in power now.
But I thought they were just controlling the patients to keep the disease from spreading.
But that's a lie, a blatant lie. The spread of the disease is accelerating. The number of cases is multiplying every day. But it's not contagious. We doctors and nurses have been treating the sick for months, in direct contact with them and their remains. And the rate of contagion among us is no higher than out there. The army is lying.
But then, how is the disease spread?
We don't know, Michael. No one knows. What we do know is that it's not caused by direct contact with the victims. There's another reason for the army's secrecy about the dissolved. Fear. It's human nature to fear the unknown. We tend to panic when faced with something we don't understand. And this damn disease is more than any of us can handle.
The cleanup brigades. I've seen how they behave.
They're savages. I despise them. They're like predatory animals, heartless and unscrupulous. The rest of the staff refuses to share the facilities with them, so their lockers are out in the hallway. That's where they keep everything they need for their hunting expeditions. The GPSs, the disease detection tests, their ID badges. Each unit is made up of 2 soldiers, 1 doctor and 1 nurse. I mean, doctors and nurses collaborating with those bloodthirsty animals. But then they say, "What do you want? It's our job, and somebody's got to do it."
Yes, that phrase sounds familiar. It's bone-chilling. Police and criminals using exactly the same words to justify their actions. You gotta do what you gotta do. That seems to be the slogan of the executioners of this new world.
Talk to my father, Michael. Tell him that I'm all right, that he shouldn't worry, that we'll be seeing each other soon, very soon.
Así que no es por contacto directo.
Tenemos que agarrar la medicina, te aviso.
Ya sé, pará.
Okay.
The nurse's silhouette seems to fade in the light of this lamp. I'm afraid that after so many months cooped up in here, Uma is nothing more than a ghost now.
Y el tipo se lo dice a la llave.
Sí, sí, sí.
More of that official propaganda. You're
Ah, lo he visto.
Sí, no es todo
You must
contacto
be
directo.
very deep underground.
Pero,
And the blades of this fan are barely turning. That explains why the air down here is almost unbreathable.
¿Qué ibas a decir antes que te... Ah, dije para.
no, nada. Lo de recién, lo de no es contacto directo. Y hay que abrir eso de alguna manera.
Hydrofluoric acid.
La
What's a
cagaste
chemical like
ahí.
this doing inside a medical facility? The smell
Lo que
alone is
partimos
giving
dos.
me a headache.
¿Qué?
Lo que partimos en dos. En la derecha los clavos.
With the acid, I only end up
Vamos a abrir
ruining
la puerta.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Ah. Con el vidrio tampoco.
I'm not gonna open. I don't see any cracks in the door. I'm not gonna open. I don't see any.
Sácame esto.
Better not. I'm an intruder in this building, going down to the main hall of the hospital.
Ah, ¿dónde dijo que estaba la cosa esa?
Los lockers.
I'm
Las
not going to
locas.
leave this place without. If it's true that the army has stopped looking for a cure,
¿Por qué no te puedes ir?
Para. Tenés razón, los lockers.
maybe I should be more subtle. If I try to open these cabinets by
Pero...
Concha de tu madre.
Se le traba, pelotuda.
This locker isn't mine. I'd better not leave anything inside.
No.
Maybe I should be.
¿Con qué? Probar con todo, con algo de que abrir.
I doubt I'd accomplish anything using the.
Tiene ácido.
It doesn't look like it's happening.
¿Para qué será el ácido, no?
Hydrofluoric acid. What's a chemical? The smell alone is giving.
A mí tenemos que volver.
Pero no puedes. Intenta irte.
Benches in front of the lockers. Typical. And so is this musty smell of old sweat and.
Intenta irte a ver qué te dice.
Hello.
¿Otra vez? Ah, no, todo de vuelta.
Uma.
Talk to my father. That will be very.
Bueno, tengo que hablar con el papá.
Y la morfina. Pero no te puedes ir.
I'm not going to leave this place without finding one of these memos about the dissolve that Uma mentioned. If it's true that the army has stopped looking for a cure, I'll need some proof to take to Rod.
¿Y cómo conseguimos eso?
Eso debe estar acá.
There's a bunch of papers stuck to the door of the closet. There seems to be some type of bureaucratic form among them. Military personnel, GPS, targets, rifles. I'm afraid what's described on these pages doesn't have very much to do with typical medical activities in a hospital.
Tiene varias páginas.
Ah, están muertos.
Objetivos prioritarios.
Uy, ¿cuánto que salimos nosotros acá? ¿Verdad? La amenaza de Andrómeda.
Military personnel. I'm afraid. Military. I'm afraid.
¿Qué carajo dijiste recién?
Que para mí en la íbamos a salir nosotros como objetivo prioritario. Pero no.
¿Pero para qué podemos entrar ahí si no hay nada?
Me dio un logro.
Ah, ¿puedes irnos por la derecha?
No.
Ah, no.
Para, a ver. Compañero. Calderón Rubén. Ah, neutralizados.
Claro, esos son los que ya mataron. Company, Miguel.
Ah, ¿no serán los desarrolladores esto?
Sí, sí. Te dio
Viste
un
que...
logro más todavía. Pero... Además, fíjate que la mayoría son españoles.
Mm. Sí, son caras muy específicas.
I'm a...
Eh...
There's a
Pará.
bunch of...
Sin entender qué es lo
Porque,
que quiere
¿para qué me pone esto?
para un logro. ¿Qué es lo anteúltimo que tenés?
¿Anteúltimo? ¿Yo? ¿Acá?
Sí, sí, sí. Al
Esta,
lado del... Ah...
esta para los peces.
Ah...
Todavía no me puedo ir.
¿Necesitas un qué?
¿Eh?
¿Qué lo necesitas para poder irte? ¿Qué te dice?
I'm not going to
El
leave this
memorándum
place without finding one. If it's
de
true
la
that the
sala,
army has
esa.
stopped looking for a cure...
Vamos a preguntar dónde está de vuelta, a ver la mina está.
Decían los casilleros.
¿Y cómo abro los casilleros? Para...
Hello. What do you know?
Those savage, heartless. The rest of the staff refuses to share the facilities with them, so their lockers are out in the hallway. That's where they keep everything they need for their hunting.
Could you tell me again what this place...
This medical center was built just after the Great Wave. That was when the authorities were beginning to work on They told us the building was going to be used to take in the first patients. Of course, I left my job in a clinic down. They demanded total confidentiality. Not even my father knew.
Yes. He told me...
At first, we treated there was everything.
And then what happened?
Things started to go wrong. And then
Yeah.
Then they sealed off the building. No one was... We doctors and nurses have been shut in here for months. It's for our own safety. Oh yeah, now our medical care is limited to wrapping up the patients in plastic bags, like the ones they use to transport cadavers, and then simply waiting for them to die, doing what little we can. Then we dispose of their remains, dissolving the black bags in acid for decontamination. And that's about it. That's all we can do with the resources we have, and sometimes it's just too much to bear.
Uma.
Talk to me. That will vary.
Let's see. Inside, I only see dust and old papers and a tiny key.
¡Oh!
Ah, la concha de tu hermano. Papeles viejos, mugre y una llave.
Let's see. Let's see. A tiny key. The lock presumably is too... Let's see if it's the key to this closet. Bingo! I see a yellow bucket in here with a handful of what seem to be tests for detection. I'm not going to take any. A small red LED is blinking on all of them, an unmistakable sign that they've been used.
Oh.
I'm not going to take any. An unmistakable...
Oh. Para. Caja de
A rather
madera.
large plywood crate. It used to hold some of the cleanup brigade's work tools. According to one of the cleanup brigade's forums, this is the device they use to navigate during their raids. Sort of like an electronic map. It looks like some satellites are actually still working at the Great Wave. Something I could easily confirm if this contraption had batteries in it. Authorized Vehicle Pass. It's the ID that allows the cleanup brigades to get in and out of the hospital compound in their macabre ambulances. From what I can tell, the Army can pump you full of lead if you try to come through the gate without one of these. It's an internal Army memo for the hospital's medical staff. The report talks about the failure to develop a cure for the dissolved, and what's even worse, the decision to finally abandon the search for one. This confirms what Nurse Uma told me. The dissolved, this document constitutes...
No, no creo que para abajo porque...
No, no creo, pero...
Better not. Going down to the... Hundreds of the dissolved, packed like sardines in this hall. Waiting. If there's a hell in this new world, it's sure as hell right down there.
Epa,
¿Qué pasa?
¿no escuchas? Sirena.
Sí, estoy de noche.